I'm standing on the edge of the Black River, and if you didn't know any better, you'd swear we were in a postcard. The moonlight is skimming the water, the pines smell like Christmas, and the only sound is the river doing what rivers do, slip by without a fuss, carrying its secrets downstream. But here's the twist. Under that pristine, placid calm is a history so grim the national papers once ran it above the fold. Between 1885 and 1900, this tiny, isolated lumber town stacked up more suicides, murders, and diphtheria deaths per capita than anywhere else in Wisconsin. Locals, in a moment of bleak poetry, called it the Wisconsin Death Trip, and they weren't being dramatic. So tonight, we're up here on the bluffs where the worst of it went down, asking the question that still hangs in the air like river fog. Did the horror ever truly end? Before anyone even thought to mutter the word ghost over a supper of hard bread and salted pork, Black River Falls was the spot you bragged about in letters back home. It was the American dream, rendered in timber and ambition. Picture this: white pine logs choking the river, a forest so dense you could walk across its surface, a sudden gold strike that had prospectors tripping over one another with wild, feverish eyes, and a brand new two-story skating rink that smelled of fresh varnish and possibility every Friday night. Electric lights, a modern marvel, flickered on Main Street before most of the Midwest even knew what electricity was. For a handful of intoxicating years, it felt like the future had punched a hole through the Wisconsin wilderness and decided to camp right here. Then, as quickly as it began, the bottom fell out. The gold petered out into useless shale, and the price of pine nosedived. The great mills slammed their doors shut. The music at the rink went silent as it turned into a dusty warehouse, and the opera house started selling chicken feed just to keep the lights on. Families who'd bet everything on town lots woke up one morning holding slips of paper worth less than the matches they struck to read them by. That was the first crack in the foundation, a tremor of the ruin to come. The second crack came wearing diphtheria like a winter coat. They called it the Strangler, and it rode in on the rasping coughs of children. The kind of cough where parents, exhausted and isolated, still think a cool breeze and a fervent prayer will be enough to fix it. Atta, just 5 years old, with her whole life ahead of her, was the first to go, her breath catching in her throat in a little clapboard house that wasn't nearly warm enough. 3 days later, her little brother followed her into the frozen ground. By the end of that bitter month, 32 children were gone. Their faces were immortalised by the town photographer, Charles Van Scheck, captured on glass plate photos with eyes far older than any child's should be.